Melody and Q&A with Melody and Q&A with Melody. Hey, Dean.
Hey now, happy Friday.
Friday. Yes,
Friday,
you too.
Friday.
It is, I just got out. Okay, welcome, Facebook friends, anybody who's watching this. I just got out of an onboarding meeting that I'm really excited about. When clients work with us, we have this communication meeting. We go over like everything that their VA is going to do for them, their virtual assistant. And then what do? We go over their DISC behavioral assessments and teach them how like best practices to communicate. And I've been working on this one for so long, getting the right match, or we have, and I'm really excited about it. It's for my friend Jen, who's doing amazing things in this world, and it went really well. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I'm so excited for her.
Me too. Yeah, she's awesome. And so is Retch, her VA that she just got. So they're going to be doing big things. So we're here today, first of all, because we haven't done this in so long, and it's just, we need to get back into this because I feel like, well, we've both been feeling like people don't know what we're doing anymore. And secondly, because we have a big announcement about something new we're doing.
Yes.
Two things. Yeah. Tell me what you've been up to, Dean.
All right. So I've been focused on this program that we just launched yesterday. And of course, on how to help more our clients and also our virtual assistants to go high level with their skills and with their, help with their clients. So how about you?
I feel like I've been doing a million things. I've been doing because I have a new executive assistant. Has she been with me a week or two? I can't remember. I think you guys were training her last week, partially. Yeah. So her name is Lovely or Love, and she really is lovely, and she's been doing really, really great. Hi, Love. But that means that, you know, when one Kia, who was my VA before, she moved over with Des to recruiting. And so basically that means that we're retraining people, but our training has gotten so much better. Now I'm going to make I'm going to say something that I probably shouldn't, but we always teach people how to create the processes so that it'll be easier for somebody else to learn. But in our business, because we are always changing so much, it's almost impossible for us to keep up with teaching somebody all these processes. So as I've been working with her, I'm like, we were supposed to have a book of Mel at some point. I think we had said we would make a book of Mel so that seemingly I'm going to be having a lot of, we hire really good people to work with me. And then because they're so good and our company's growing, we end up, I have to move them. And I hate it. I hate it so much because I like working with one person and, you know, them getting to know me, but also it's better for our company. So I just told Des that she has to make a book of Mel. It's going to have, and it has to have a title page that says Book of Mel on it. So it's like a training. Huh?
It's just connected with the book of Eli. It's just,
oh yeah, same.
Love it.
But well, I've been working a lot on the customer training portal. I feel like we've been doing so many things and building so many things very, very quickly. And so the big thing that I was working on for a long time was creating a video training for clients so that when they came into our system and that they could learn easier, so that we could really pay attention to how they were learning and making sure that they learned it. But because before we were just sending them emails with the videos, which we knew wasn't effective, but we needed to get it up and running. And now we can actually see if they're doing the work or not. And then we can poke them when they're not doing the work or if they get busy. Because you and I both know that they always say they're really busy, but everybody has 10 minutes here and there. Even I do. So I'm excited that that has been finished. Mostly finished. We're still working on getting the transcripts done and complete. Well, I think the transcripts are done. It's the workbook that also might be done. I don't know. I can't keep up. Is it done?
It's mostly done, Mel. Hi,
Okay.
Jay, for watching.
Yeah. Hi, Jay. Jay's been really helping us out a lot lately. So, um, yeah. So we've been growing our team and really our systems. Like the past year, I think the last time we did a Facebook Live was probably 6 months ago. Wouldn't you say? It's been like a long time, at least.
It's a
And
lot.
because we used to do them every week, and I think we should do them again every week because I kind of miss this. It's less stressful than doing work. Um, but we've just really worked so hard on building the process and the systems. And every time we see a new problem, we've been trying to like create a new solution. So that work is never ending.
Yeah, it's always, we're always in progress.
Yeah.
Also, Mel, just want to share that we do really want to help, Filipino aspiring and beginner virtual assistants, right? So
Yes.
we also want to help them to move forward with their VA world. So watch out,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, it's because we only hire experienced VAs or people of experience in like an office environment or something that can work for what we are looking for. But there are so many amazing people who apply who aren't experienced, and we can't take them on. And because we can't take the risk that we're training somebody, or we can't take the risk that an untrained person might not work out. And you do need to know some things to be really effective from the start. And so that's something we've realized is you need to create a training. What is it called? A training.
The
So,
new VA portal.
well, it's
Yeah,
like a new training. It's like a class, essentially.
yes.
A class for new VAs, and then also a class for general VAs to move up to being an executive assistant. Because we have a lot of clients, including me, who need executive assistants, and it's a different skill set, different things, different problems. So we're working on that, but mostly you're working on that. I say
And
we, but
shout out, shout out to Erica, Jay.
oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Erica,
we're working so
Erica
hard.
has been pushing content like crazy. She is amazing. How much she has gotten done. Just, we're so lucky because everybody has their role, and they're all different roles. We have our recruiting department, and Des and Kia, they work really hard to like, basically they have to go through hundreds of applications and figure out ways to not miss people or to find the right people. And then it's not even just finding people with experience, but it's finding people who can match our clients, both in their personality and their needs. And so it's like a lot of work. But they do an amazing job on that. And then, Erica, yes, exactly. Erica she moved from recruiting to being the head of our education. So class creation, content, all that kind of stuff. And she doesn't stop. She's just like, I was telling her yesterday, I don't even know what she's doing half the time because she's 10 steps ahead. And so we're really lucky that she's been working so hard. It's kind of like that's where she was meant to be. She's doing a great job. And then Jay has come to us on accident, but we have been loving having him. He's an amazing designer, human, just so awesome to have him here and just helping us any way that we need him to be there. He's just helping. He's great. And then Lovely, our most recent addition, is, oh, hi, Love. Yeah, there you are. Also great. That's one of the things that has been our hardest struggle, is making sure that we find people who fit the culture that we're building. And we know that's the most important part of growing our company, because we've had both. We've had people who didn't fit, we've had people who do fit, and I don't want to do it any other way. Like, I want only people who, want to learn, are teachable and coachable, and, are great, at working, but their attitude, their motivations, just who they are has to match ours. Yeah.
Patience, understanding.
Yeah. And a lot of coaching for us too. Like, we've had to grow a lot as leaders as well. And that can be a challenge if you're not open to it, right?
Right.
What else have we been working on besides our major announcement? This is not the major announcement, but we have started to sell gift packages for people who have virtual assistants, and mostly it's clients right now, right? But if you have a virtual assistant that is awesome, yes. Oh, look at how prepared you are. This is why you are the integrator. But
yes.
basically, we've created these different packages. And so when I sent you guys your Christmas gift that you received in March, it was a long time. I started it in October, but I didn't send it for quite a while. I got held up. But yeah, you guys got your gift, but it cost like hundreds of dollars to send it. And it took a while to get there. And then you had to break up the box and send it to everybody else. And so what we realized is, people like money, of course, but they also like surprises and gifts. And what you have created is a way for us to print customer t-shirts even. And in the Philippines, it's much less expensive there. And they'll let you do like a run of 1 or 2 shirts or mugs or whatever. And then you've been creating these gift boxes that we send. They're all like customized with a note from the client, and we send it right to the VA, which is so cool. I love it so much. And it's not too expensive compared to what if they wanted to send it from the States, it would be very expensive. And so I think we're very reasonable for what we're doing.
Yeah. And also, Mel, the duration, the time. So it's
yeah. Yeah, a lot less time.
Like 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, 1 to 2 weeks is much better. Do we have chats on? Oh yeah, it does come up. It was Love. But I didn't get to say that, Love, you've been doing such a great job. And really, working for me is not easy. Not because I'm not a nice person, but it's because I never stop having things in my head. My head never stops. And so to keep up with that can be very challenging. You have to be a very special person who can like really be okay with that level of information, I guess. And so thank you, Love. You haven't quit, and that's amazing. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So I know we're here to make an announcement, but I was kind of thinking it was also just kind of going to be like one of our normal well, we haven't done this in so long. It feels like we should we should talk about the changes that we've made to our company. And also we should probably talk about what we do, because I think a lot of people might not even know what we do. That probably is pretty basic. I'll say what we do. We are virtual assistant matchmakers. We help business owners in the United States, Canada, wherever, find their virtual assistant match, basically. And we work really hard at it. It's very different than anything anybody else is doing. We don't just find the match. We also train the client how to work with the VA. We do a very extensive training. And I even go deep into mindset because I know I'm a business owner. I am the worst when it comes to, I struggle with all the same things everybody else does. Delegation, micromanagement. These are things I'm constantly working on not struggling with. It's not natural for me because entrepreneurs, I'm less bad than a lot, but entrepreneurs tend to be control freaks because they created this thing that they think is like their baby and they don't want anybody to ruin it. And they think nobody else can do it better than they can. Right. But that's also not true. So, somebody's knocking on my door. Who could it be? This is Facebook Live. So we'll see. Hold on. Please hold. Hi.
You know me, right?
No.
John.
Yes. Hi, Molly. It's Molly.
Yes.
Hi.
I know your husband's been trying to fix the mower.
Yes.
To mow that field.
Yes.
I just had the company drop off the mower to do it for you guys.
You know how?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Waiting for Mel.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that would be.
We'll just remove Mel for a while, and then I'll just explain to you our pricing, okay? So right now, hey Mel, I just
Sorry.
a bit. Okay. So right now, Mel, I was explaining our pricing. So we
Yes.
do offer 4 payments plan, meaning
Actually, Dean, it's 3. We changed that.
free. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1,000. It's one payment and then 2 months of other payments. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. 3 payment plan, which is the the first payment is one eleven
1,000
ninety five,
or
right?
that. Yes,
Yeah,
you
and
should
then
know
the
this.
second and third, yeah, I know
I
that.
don't know this.
I
I'm
just
struggling right
forgot.
now too because we're always
Okay, I'm
changing
not
as we
perfect.
figure things out. Yeah,
Yeah. And then the other, and then the second and the third is the 500.
yeah,
All right. So I'm gonna put those out in here, and Mel will explain something. Anyways.
yeah. So what we do is we assess our clients. So we've gotten really good at figuring out how to get people to give us the information we need in the least painful way for the client. Because if they're like me, I just like to check boxes. I don't like to write too much stuff down. And so we've done really well at creating a very comprehensive, what do you call it, assessment for people. And we get everything that we will need to know to find the right person, to be able to put out a job description or to create a job description for their future VA, and also to give them a list of videos that the client is going to make so that the VA can be come on board with a training plan already in place. Because well, I'll go back to the biggest mistake clients tend to make, but then we onboard them, which is my favorite part, which is what I was doing before this meeting or this Facebook Live, which is when I get to meet with 2 people, or Des does, and we basically break down how they can communicate. We try to make it so that they are as real as they can be right in that meeting, so that when they meet up with each other moving forward, they're already themselves. Because you know how it is when you're first working with somebody, it takes like months to get to know them and be comfortable. We're trying to compress that time down to like a week or 2. And so that's our secret to success, I think, is that meeting. And we keep getting better with that. And then we give people support afterwards, but our support level, so it's crazy because clients basically ghost us after they get their VA, because I think a lot of people think once they get a VA, they'll be less busy. And that's never the case. It's usually that they will keep themselves busy because they don't understand that it's a psychological issue, not a work issue. There are lots of people who have businesses who don't work and hustle as hard as a lot of the rest of us do. And it's because they are okay with having space in their life. I know I'm getting a little deep here. I know that for me, I struggle with having space. I struggle with doing nothing. It's like all these deep seated things going on inside of me. And I know so many business owners also struggle with that. So they think they're solving the problem externally by getting a virtual assistant, when really they have to solve the problem internally by working on themselves. Not easy. That's not easy. So what we're always trying to do is make it so that VAs can be as successful for their client, but also so that the client can be successful. However, we've been finding that we never know until there's a problem. Like we don't get updates saying like everything's going great. I'm just having a problem because I tend to ghost my VA sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed, and then they feel like they don't have anything to do. Nobody says that to us. So we're trying to get more proactive about how we support people. And I'm going to let you talk about what we've come up with um,
Mhm.
to help in that area, which is what we've been working hard on.
Yeah. So in connected with that, Mel, most of the client VA problems that we worked on, usually it's all about the expectations from the VAs. Of course, all right. So of course, as a former virtual assistant of Mel, we both know that I need a break, like for example, my 30-minute break, or kind of, a stretching break, right, guys? So it's not like most of the time, I mean, of course, the VA should, work. Hey, Mel. All
Sorry.
right. It's okay. So I'm discussing about the expectations of the clients to the VAs. So of course, the VAs are working most of the time, but they also need, a break, a 30-minute break, a 15-minute break. So we are not robots, guys. We are but as a VA myself, we also need to, to inform you guys, my former client Mel, that I will have, a stretch 5 or 10 minute stretching for me to have, I need to, like,
Well, it's
um
communication. It's just the
yeah,
communication is the problem.
right.
Yeah.
And support Mel, it's actually most of the time, the problems are, if me or Des check the VA, it's most likely, or the client, if we check the client, it's most likely came up that it's when we check in with them, not the time that they are like experiencing that
It's not
problem.
the beginning of the
Yeah,
problem.
that's
And we
true.
like to be there before the problem is happening,
Mm.
which is hard to do once we're out of the loop, you know? Sorry, I'm
So,
giving my son ginger ale because he has COVID.
oh, yeah.
I'm taking care of him, kind of.
Guys, if you have any questions, we do have 4K viewers right now. And
We
of
have
course,
what?
4K. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
All right.
That's
So
funny.
we do the best that we can. Of course, Mel is giving different services. First is Mel, the mediation with the client and the VA, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's been really interesting. And I actually really love it. It's for people who have long term relationships with virtual assistants who, the ones that we've done have been for people who um, started with us in the beginning or even before we started the business. And the cool thing about it is it takes a commitment from both like it's a reset on their relationship. So I interview both the client and the VA to see where the problems are, but we don't go backwards, we look forwards. And so what we end up doing is I make a list of what those VA problem areas are. I make a list of what the client issues are. And then I come up with a plan of action based on what they both want. And I tell the client first what the plan of action is. I get their approval, but there has to be some trust involved. So I'm not telling anybody everything all at once usually. But then we go and have a meeting, kind of like an onboarding, where we basically reset the relationship, agree to some terms, and kind of go from there. And it's been really interesting. The issue often is with high, like VAs who are really um, go-getters, especially people who really want to get stuff done, who are excited when they get started, but the business owner doesn't know how to utilize them or doesn't utilize them. Well, they're working nights. They're going to get bored. They're going to get resentful that they're not getting to do a job that's meaningful. But because, sure, people work for money, but many people work for a lot more than money. They work for like a sense of, you know, feeling good about themselves, about helping somebody, about completing something cool or projects. And so when they don't have that, of course they're going to get resentful and start slacking and stop. And, you know, oftentimes when we are mad at somebody, we can't tell them, our actions will tell them, right?
Mm.
And that's when we usually hear about the problems. And honestly, it goes back to the business owners a lot of times, because if they had been leading from the start, that wouldn't have become an issue. But because we're all evolving and growing, sometimes they don't know how to lead in the beginning, and then it really does take a reset to change things, you know? So I've been loving, they actually are a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
emotionally.
yeah. And also I really have to coach business owners a lot because it's that, like, it's always us. Everything falls back on us as business owners in our company. If we are not leading our teams. Like there's no reason, this is a hard concept sometimes for people to understand, but we can blame other people, but we can't control any outcomes when we're blaming other people. If we take on the blame for any problem, then we can actually fix it. We can find a solution. And otherwise the world is controlling the problem. Other people are controlling the problem. So that can be a hard concept sometimes for people. But something I really believe in. So that's been fun. What else have we been doing?
But it's working. But it's working well. I mean, the mitigation, it's working well. Really
Yes,
well.
it's, it's interesting. I was just talking to somebody this morning and I was telling them that they need to follow through on what the plan was. Because I think something that happens is the VA wants the reset. They want to do the change. They want to make the change. And then the business owner sees the change and they kind of forget because we're so busy all the time, and they kind of just are like, okay, good, it's changed. And they forget all the things they promised to do. And so it takes so much attention from a business owner or a client. And I struggle with that too. It's like really, really hard if that's not something you're used to. So it's, I don't know. We've only done 2 or 3. They've been like 2 with clients that were formal. I've done other things that were informal. But the interesting thing is they were in the last couple months. So we'll see how they go long term. But it's really going to be dependent on the business owner ultimately and what they're willing to do.
Yeah.
So what else have we been doing? I've been traveling a lot. And hi. Oh, look, it's my daughter, Sophia. We're on Facebook Live. Oh, it's Amira. I love those pants.
Thank you.
Hi.
Well, we're doing a Facebook business.
Sean.
Now?
And Sean, yes.
I have to go.
Okay, bye. This is life, guys. This
Hi,
is real life.
beautiful.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Nice to see you, Amira. So what else? So traveling. So one of the things that is a struggle when you're starting a business that nobody has done before is getting people to understand what we're doing and to buy into it. And so one of the ways that we're doing that is I'm traveling a lot to spread the word. And it's interesting because I think we figured out that I kind of just created a sales and marketing job for myself. And those are the things that I don't love doing the most. So it's been me having to grow as a person a lot. I've also been speaking, which has been really fun. Sean, stop it. The dog.
Hi, Sean.
He's so needy. And I've been trying to be on a lot of podcasts and Facebook. Oh my God. I'm going to move because Sean is very needy. He moved. Trying to just get the information to people because we both know how much it helps people. I think what we've realized is the level of support that's needed is so high for success. Because if you're not a natural, like I think one of the skills I have is, communication, which is a good and a bad thing, but I'm not afraid to be vulnerable with you or anybody. I'm not afraid to talk about my weaknesses, and I'm also trying to fix them. And I try to hold myself accountable. A lot of people don't have that going on. And so they might think the VA is going to fix the problem, but they're not doing the work needed to.
Yeah.
And like you and I, in our business relationship, we have this partnership, and I think we've done really, really well in our partnership, but it's because we communicate a lot. And when we're, and support each other. Yeah. Anything you want to say about that? Because as I'm communicating, I also am very hyper aware that I am an over communicator.
Yeah. So actually, Mel, I think one of the most important thing is, trust.
Yes.
Of course, we're so far with each other. As you know, I'm here in the Philippines and Mel is in the US right now.
We've never met.
And We've never met. I already met our employees, but
Yeah, you guys
Mel.
went on a nice time together without me.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's, again, we have never met, and we own a company together, a true company in the United States. We own together and we've never met. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. That's why, Mel, it's like it's also connected as a VA and also as your former, VA.
Yes.
Trusting is really important. Trust is really important, and
Yeah.
of course, delegation, it's hard to other people. Of course, me
Yeah.
personally sometimes,
Yes.
that, Mel. And it's if you will, if you are open to learn or to be open on other people's, advices, just like Mel, through Mel.
Yeah.
Because Mel taught me a lot on how to grow more as a person and as a business owner, because it's my first time having this kind of, business. So
Yeah. Well, and also the cool thing is it's not like I know everything just because I know stuff. It's because either I've learned the hard way from experience, or I've been in this business coaching group. I pay for this group. I've learned so much from it. And therefore, like through osmosis, you have learned so much. As you told me once when you went to an event, you were like, Mel, it's like I already have 10 years of business ownership experience or
that's it.
knowledge. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. I mean, that's but going back, we developed our trust in our working relationship when you were working with me as a VA, and just having that connection, that's what really this whole business for us has been about, is helping people to develop the connection that we had, that came naturally. It really did come naturally, I think, to us maybe, um but it doesn't for other people. And so we know that's part of the secret to success in most relationships, is having that trust and connection. So, um, before our big announcement, is there anything else we've been doing?
We've been doing. Oh, we just launched the VA referral, Mel,
Yeah,
thing.
so we're going to be doing this for clients at some point soon, I think, too, or we already have. I don't remember. We do too many things, but every now we realize, and I've always known this through my business, is referrals are the best thing that you can get. And so we have a lot of VAs in our system already who are working for clients who are really awesome, and we're just saying to them, hey, find us more people like you and we will pay you. And so we just started that up, like, what, last week or something. I feel like everything's starting now.
Last week, Mel.
It's literally everything is, it's all, we've been working on all these projects for months, and then suddenly they're all ready at the same time or something. um so really, I think it's when Erica went into education that we really started pushing much harder on, like, getting, she was focused on that, and therefore that's how all this has happened so quickly, because we're still mostly living in the day to day of the business. So that's been pretty exciting. But yeah, it's a pretty simple system, right? They don't have to do much. They just have to refer, and then we will give them money and say thank you.
Yeah, Mel.
Yeah.
And of course, actually, Mel, we will give the 50% of that. For example, $50. So
Yeah.
we will do after 2 weeks of the onboarding, and then we will give the another. I mean, to complete the $50 or $75, we will give it after 30 days.
Yeah.
I mean,
We,
successful.
well, because
Fine.
our client, we have like a 30-day kind of money back slash we'll get you a new VA policy, even though we want to do it as quickly as possible if it's necessary. That's what we train people or teach people, is tell us immediately if your gut tells you something's not, like, business owners are the worst, because it's so hard to hire people that when we hire somebody, we know almost immediately that they're not the right fit, but it's so hard to onboard people, and so we'll be like, but maybe they'll improve. And then we do that for months until we're like, yeah, I guess they're not going to improve. But we knew that the first week. So we really push people to tell us as quickly as possible. and VAs too. It's not just business owners. Sometimes VAs, it's rare, but sometimes they've said, this isn't going to work for me. And it's totally okay. You know, that first week is a time when you're really going to see how it's going to be. So, but anyway, after 30 days, that's why we're giving that after 30 days, since that's our kind of timeline on that. Because that's when we know they're good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about one thing we struggle with still that is relatable, which is you and I are growing a startup essentially. I think I realized a couple months ago that we're actually an internet startup, which is very fancy, since we're on the internet. But we have really struggled with, as we're growing, understanding or like keeping up with the roles and not being so stuck in the day to day, which is literally like the goal of getting people VAs is so that they can do the higher level things in their business. And it's not that we're not doing any higher level things, but I think you and I can both agree we are still stuck in the minutia a lot of the time. And it used to be because we didn't have enough people on our staff. And now I think it's
It's
because,
time.
well, you need an assistant, who's going to be able to help you and be a good, if anybody wants to be Dean's assistant and you think you're good and could keep up with her, but you have to fit our company culture as well. So, but yeah, you need somebody for that because you take on a lot of the things that just kind of are
Small.
necessary, but small things. And that's not where you should be. For me, I'm running two businesses and, um, I'm so divided, and my family, I have my kids, and you guys are working nights, so it's you have a little bit more focus at night than I'm able to do a lot of the time because my life is during the day. And so like Max has been home all this week with COVID, and so that's something none of us were expecting. And it's always something like that going on. So my main goal for us and is getting me to the Philippines where we can really sit down and just map it out, because that's not able to really happen. I mean, it probably could, but it would be difficult to make it happen if it wasn't in person. And then, because there's a lot of things in person that you can't get in, on a
Virtual.
computer. Yeah. And then the other goal is for us to really get disciplined on what our roles are and then sticking to them. Like I also spend a lot of time after hours talking to people. Like I spend time in the daytime feeling guilty if I'm not doing a lot of work, and I fight it. I also will fight it. Like I will not want to start at, I'll say I'll meet you at 8:30. I don't know how many times you've experienced this. And then it's 8:30 and I'm like, I'm not ready. And then it's 9 and I'm not ready. I'll be there in 10 minutes. And it's really me fighting myself because I know as soon as I start, it won't stop for the rest of my entire day because I don't still know how to stop. I'm learning still. So
But you're just being transparent, ma'am. But like personally, for me, it's okay because I discussed this with you, Mel. I told you that it's okay, Mel. I'm working on some things. I can work. I can wait for you. So of course, time management is really important, and yeah,
yeah,
we're
it
working
is, but it's
actually.
hard. I mean, we live it every day. We're telling our clients how to be better at that. And it's not that we don't know how to do it because we do. We actually are very good at time management in many ways. But the amount of tasks we have to do on a daily basis outweighs what our time is. And especially urgent things, just like any other business owner, putting out fires is a big thing that happens all the time. So we're still learning how to do that in in this business because as we're literally creating what our business does, we're also creating the structure of it, and it's very different than any other business I've ever done. So it's been interesting
Yeah,
and sometimes frustrating, but we're getting better every day.
yeah. We're always in progress.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
we are. So do you want to talk about the big thing that we're doing that you've been working hard on, or is
Actually,
there?
oh, all right. Let's get it on, guys. Okay, so guys, we just launched the virtual assistant support program, and of course, it is. I mean, this is Mel, are you there? All right, Mel is still there. Okay, so this
I'm
is a
here.
high level support program that we just launched yesterday, and of course, thank you, shout out. I always say so, shout out to Ryan Fox, and I forgot the
And
other name.
JC
And
Chinesky.
JC, hi JC, for we're telling Mel about this, of course. You know, there are great ideas. And yeah, we just
Well,
launched
can I say
it.
something, Dean? That
Sure.
is a great idea. And it's not that we didn't have the idea, it's that it was so like, someday we'll do this thing.
Hmm.
And having talked to them in Nashville and them being like, you need to create this thing, that's when I brought it back to us and said, this is what people are going to want and we need to help. I think this is a better way we can help. So go on. Sorry.
Okay, yes. So that's it. So of course Mel, the word of includes. So your VA will have a monthly individual coaching sessions with me, to everyone, with Mel. Actually, it really
It's gonna,
depends.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to depend on what the issues are. It will be with somebody on our team.
yeah. So it's a 30-minute monthly individual coaching session.
Oh, but also what we do to make sure, and we're still figuring out how to make this work, but we want to support the business owners and in supporting their VA. So what we're going to be doing is sending a text ahead of that meeting to say, hey, we're going to be meeting with your VA in the near future. Is there anything that you feel we should discuss or that you'd like us to bring up or things like that? Because sometimes it's hard for business owners to even know how to approach a problem. So they'll have the opportunity to talk to us about it ahead of time and then go on. Sorry.
All right. Okay. So after that monthly coaching, we will send you a wrap up report. Of course, if, you know, the updates and everything, and for the client, of course,
And it'll
um
kind of be telling about what we've been working on in the support program in general as well, so that they can keep up to date with what their VA is learning.
yeah. All right. And then second one is the group weekly check-ins. And of course, we will maximize our Facebook group. We do have Facebook group, and that's our means of communication, our private mail, our private Facebook group, what we call the Virtual Assistant Pros Facebook group. And of course, the monthly classes to up level your VA's skills. If you registered in this program, you will receive a pre-registration form, and you can just check what specialized skills you really want your VA to learn more. So
Actually, Dean, I just remembered that we were supposed to change the form to put it in order. I forgot, because otherwise they'll want their VA to learn everything. But that's okay. We're going to be doing a monthly focus class, and sometimes there'll be other classes that are going to be quicker. For instance, like I know that things like, up leveling your skills on Excel or, sheets is something that a lot of business owners need sometimes for their VAs to have. We'll be offering some things like that too, but these are going to be bigger classes, like teaching them about, wait, tell me what they are again, because I forget. We literally bought classes that from a company that had these created special for virtual assistants. And then we have made them more of our own to make sure that all the content we want to include is included. Go on. Sorry.
yep. All right. I'm just putting out the registration link. All right. So moving forward, the free access to home service industry software training videos. So we will give you a lot of training videos, and then the business templates for virtual assistants, which means we will put it inside the private Facebook group, right,
And
Mel?
those are all the templates that we use in our company. They're templates I've created for my executive assistant. This is one thing I'm very, very good at, is creating systems that are simple and creating documents to go with those systems that will work for me, because I'm super ADD and just struggle with simplicity is needed, but I'm just not good at following systems. That's all. But I can create them. So that's what VAs are for. They're there to follow the systems that. And so some of them, like my favorite document that I created most recently is my travel document or my travel overview, which I made it so that it includes all the things I will ever need to know in one place, including what time I should board the plane, not just what time the plane takes off, because I almost missed a flight recently when I saw the flight time and just decided that was the time I was going to get on the plane. And it wasn't my VA's fault. It was my fault because my brain just decided that. So we added the boarding time. That's how we learn.
All right. Okay. So
all of this is a lot of value. We were talking about how to price this program. And it was a really hard decision because we know that people have a lot of expenses already. And on top of that, this is just to some people would be just another expense. But for us, understanding that we want you to have a long-term relationship with your VA, we want them to be successful with you, and we want to be proactive about keeping problems from coming up for you, the client. And so there is so much value in this. A lot of these systems, like the templates alone for what we've created, we don't give everybody all of the templates that we use, but the templates that we use are really, really important for success with a VA. We assumed in the beginning that clients would have some systems in place at times, and a lot of clients don't. You know, if they've never had office help before, or their office help is not, maybe they do their office, but they don't have good systems that are transferable. They need they need more insight. So that's one of the things that this is really going to help with. The individual coaching is going to be tremendously helpful because most of the complaints we get about VAs are that they are not proactive, and they are not, sometimes they're not responsive in the way that the owner wants. And usually it's because the owner is never responsive. And so it's kind of learned from, like, they want them to be there when they want them to be there, but they're also not there a lot. So we're trying to help in those ways. So the price that we came up with is $199 a month. This is every single month your VA will be going through this program. You will be getting an update about how it's going. And right now we're trying to figure out how to make this work the best way possible. So we've sent out a notice to all our clients yesterday. If you're one of our clients and you didn't get that email, please check your spam box. But you want to get signed up and make the decision as soon as you can, because I think that in the beginning we had talked about limiting so that we can make sure we're really doing the best job possible. And just like with our business, we were trying to figure it out in the beginning. And then, once we had it figured out, we were able to, reset our price based on what it's worth, the value of what it's worth and all that. But just even having coaching, like if your VA is going to have a half hour with me sometimes, my time is very valuable, as is yours, Dean. And that is in itself going to be a big deal. When I talk to VAs and about communication or about issues, I'm giving the perspective of the client in a way that the client can't, because I'm very self-aware and I struggle with so many of these same things. So it's actually a really special thing when I am able to meet with VAs. And the same for you, Dean. We have different coaching methods, but it's the same thing, which is like we are pushing them forward in a way that they wouldn't be able to move themselves.
yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, Mel, my coaching, I just want to share my coaching sessions. Most of the time is, of course, personal development, because it's, the first thing that, the VA should work on
Yeah.
for them to have a successful, relationship with their client. And yeah. And
Yeah.
also it's always based on my experience with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think that's what makes it unique is I think we've come to realize that our relationship, our situation is very unique. And my whole life experience has been, I mean, everybody has a unique experience, but I think in the business world, my experience has been pretty unique. And so it's allowed us to really push ourselves forward and to continue to go without some of the struggles that other people have. And that's just because we communicate. So anyway, if anybody has any questions or they're interested in talking more about this or learning more about this, let us know. VAs, if you are watching this, make sure to tell your clients about it if you're interested in joining. If you want to up level, if you want to be in a group and be better supported, make sure you're telling your clients that you want to be included in this and ask for it as a benefit, because it really is a benefit for you. Did we ever say the classes we're going to offer? It's like digital marketing and graphic design and
Customer support.
yeah. Was it social media management, and what were the
A
other
lot.
ones? There was
A
a
lot.
lot. There's so many classes. Yeah. But we're going to do one a month, and as we continue to put out more, they'll be for sale as well. So,
Yeah.
okay. I think we need to do more of these, Dean.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Let's
So let's
let's
make
do
the
that
commitment
now.
to do it.
All
Yeah.
right, guys, you can message Mel through her personal Facebook.
Or you can message Dean.
Yes, of course, anytime.
Yeah.
Need Assis, Melody Edwards, or email us at info@homeserviceba.com. And
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you, Dean. I miss you.
thank you, Mel. Miss you too. All right.
And see you later. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.